coast in a
Hello and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I'm Ayo Deji Makinde. Please remember you can follow this news broadcast live on our website www.nta.ng/live and on all our social media platforms displayed on the screen for more updates. 12 years after, the Katsina and Kano new 330 kV substations are to be finally completed and energized this year. The assurance was given by the Interministerial Delegation on Assessment of Ongoing Power Projects across the country during a visit to the sites. Joshua Ojito reports.
Awarded in 2010, work on the Katsina 330 kV substation was stalled due to issues of right-of-way by communities along the transmission line. Federal and governments of Kano and Katsina states intervened and contractor back to site. Already, equipment for the project procured and delivered. At the instance of the Power Minister, Abubakar Aliyu, Managing Director of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, contractors giving stem warning on timely delivery of the project and according to specifications.
By the time we finish this substation, the power in Katsina is going to be improved. It is from this substation we are going to supply the Ras substation, Kulpi substation, Busama, Kankara, and Malampashi. We want to make sure that we finish this substation within the remaining 1 year which this administration has.
We used to get about 60 megawatts, but with 300 MVA, we should be more than satisfied.
For the people of Kano State, another huge investment in the power sector to improve electricity supply in the city as the new 330 kV substation comes on stream.
Transmission line expected to be fed from the existing substation in Kano Metropolis to the new 330 kV substation under construction linking Kano and Katsina. Along the route is the newly built 132 kV substation in Bichi, Kano State, which is ready for inauguration. Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
Now, the journey to making Nigeria a technological startup hub has begun as a digital fabrication laboratory where innovative ideas can be translated into prototypes has been launched. Chimdemma in the Basin reports that the Abuja 1.0, first of its kind in the country, is situated at the National Center for Artificial Intelligence and Robotics, an agency under the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA.
Abdul Malik is an innovator working on developing a technology that will help in diagnosing causes of blindness in diabetic patients. Before now, he would have to send his design to China for prototype fabrication. But not anymore. With the development of this state-of-the-art digital fabrication laboratory in Nigeria, his work will be easier and faster.
This Fab Lab has been a game changer. After a few weeks, you should expect to see a prototype in form of a lens that can be used to take the picture of the eye, which will be printed using the 3D printers. You can fabricate anything you can think of, drawn with cameras and other intelligence equipment, mobile robotics that you can use to enhance and improve our security situation. All the furniture here, they are fabricated in this lab. We have laser cutters, we have 3D printers, we have plotters, which is the binaural cutter, and then we have basically high precision milling machines, and we have ovens for melting metal, including the electronic workbench.
The Abuja Fab Lab 1.0, made accessible to everyone, is the pilot phase. There are plans to replicate this in information technology hubs and innovation labs nationwide. Nigeria's Fab Lab is linked to the global Fab Lab network domiciled in the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, USA, and trainings will be ongoing to develop an indigenous Fab Lab installers base. In Abuja, Chimdima Dubisi, NTA News.
The Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, through the Value Chain Development Program, has distributed 3,800 bags of rice seeds, over 300 bags of fertilizers and herbicides to 120 vulnerable farmers in 4 local government areas of Nasarawa State, with a charge on them to use the inputs to improve food sufficiency. Ben Mitu reports that National Coordinator Value Chain Development Program, Dr. Fatima Aliyu, gave the charge in a message to the flag-off of the distribution in Lafia.
Rice is one of the staple crops grown in Nasarawa State, with the capacity to produce over 350 metric tons. One of the reasons that the state was selected among the 9 states to benefit from the Rural Stimulus Facility grant of the International Fund for Agricultural Development. The grant is meant to support vulnerable farmers to sustain production, food security, and accelerate their recovery from the negative impact of COVID-19.
The project aims to improve incomes and food security of poor rural households engaged in production, processing, and marketing of rice and cassava. Specifically, the grant is expected to stimulate and invigorate vulnerable farmers selected across 4 benefiting LGs, whose livelihoods and incomes were most hit and worsened by the COVID-19 pandemic.
The representative of the Commissioner for Agriculture and Water Resources and other development partners commended the federal government for considering the state worthy.
This huge investment will not be a waste. In fact, should expect more than 200% return.
To some farmers, the support is timely and commendable in Lafia. Ben Mitu, NTA News.
World leaders are converging on Bali, Indonesia for the 7th Global Platform for Disaster Risk Reduction at the instance of the United Nations. The Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, is among global broadcast organizations providing syndicated coverage for the GP 2022. Onengiye Fineface reports.
Islamic finance is an option small and medium enterprises can take advantage to access capital, but there's reservation about it amongst most people. This is because the common perception it is meant for Muslims only.
This is an economic activity. Everybody is involved in economic activity. You can't monopolize economic activity.
Nana Usman Bature is one in many who had little understanding of the known interest finance.
I have been hearing about it, but I have never attended any program.
This outreach by Islamic finance professionals is to help people understand that Islamic finance is for all.
Especially if we can have Bank of Industry and Nexim Bank that can come and raise funds through Islamic finance and also channel these funds in line with it to the small and medium enterprise. It will have a positive impact and it will change the dynamics of our economy.
While Islamic finance forbids interest, it assumes a share of the profits and losses of enterprise.
It's only when profits are made that even the customer expects to go with anything, and if nothing comes, they bear it. They know that is the nature of. But you find out some other financial institutions promising.
When I go back, I will also encourage people to key in to non-interest finance.
The professionals here believe that the continuous enlightenment will empower Nana Usman Bature, and many take advantage of the opportunities abound in Islamic finance. In Abuja, I am Musa Abubakar, NTA News.
That report actually was by Musa Abubakar on affordable capital without pressure of interest being charged on loans, which is one of the vital ways of reducing poverty in the country. Let's move on and tell you that the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, says it will continue to give guidance on actions required by various agencies to prepare, mitigate and respond to extreme occurrences of disasters across the country. The Director General of the agency, Mustafa Habib Ahmed, stated this at the annual presentation of disaster risk management implications of the 2022 seasonal climate prediction and flood outlook to the general public. Ilyasu Yakubu reports.
Available records from the Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency, NISA, indicates that 233 local government areas in 32 states of the Federation and the FCT fall within the highly probable flood risk areas, while 212 local government areas in 35 states will experience moderately probable flood risk areas, and the remaining 329 local government areas are expected to fall within the low probable flood risk areas. Based on this scenario, the Director General of NEMA emphasized the need for effective collaboration through disaster risk management and sensitization of the general public.
NEMA recognizes the importance of collaboration and partnership in the management of disasters. Therefore, may I use this opportunity to call on our stakeholders to sustain the existing working relationship at the federal, state, local government and community levels.
We must therefore step up our efforts in the management of flood risks and other related disasters, in addition to vigorous sensitization, which is what NEMA is doing.
Because we know that this immediate impact on our daily lives and early warnings are therefore very critical, we require for primary adaptation.
Year in, year on, the Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency, NISA, and Nigeria Meteorological Services Agency, NIMET, provide flood and rainfall outlook to serve as a guide for preventive measures. In Abuja, Ilyasu Yakubu, NTA News.
The Nigerian Air Force Mobility Command, Enugu, has carried out a free medical outreach in the Bakassi community, Bayelsa State, as part of its corporate social responsibility. Air Officer Commanding Air Vice Marshal Harry Etukudo acknowledges the support by host communities in the discharge of its constitutional responsibilities. Ebenimi Zetimiola reports.
The free medical outreach, which took place in the Bakassi returnees community in Bayelsa State as part of activities to commemorate the 58th anniversary of the Nigerian Air Force, Air Officer Commanding Headquarters Mobility Command, Yenagoa, Air Vice Marshal Harry Etukudo, noted that in addition to keeping the nation's airspace safe, the Nigerian Air Force is mindful of the well-being of members of their host communities and the need to enhance healthy civil-military relationships.
The Nigerian Air Force is an organization that respects and is ready to support its force community. And so this exercise we want to build that trust.
Leaders of the community and other beneficiaries expressed appreciation for the gesture.
They bring medical doctors and test us here.
The Air Force has given us a great sense of belonging.
I am very grateful for the free gift that they have given me. Thank you very much for Nigerian Air Force.
Services provided include vital checks, consultation and dispensing of medications, along with eye checks and provision of medicated eyeglasses. Patients with serious conditions were referred to health facilities for further medical care. In Enugu, Ebenimi Zetimiola, NTA News.
Abia State health workers have embarked on an indefinite strike to press home their demand for the 12-month salary arrears. This is a follow-up to the peaceful protest earlier embarked upon by the health workers in the State's Hospitals Management Board and other state-owned hospitals. Nena Igwe reports.
In last week's protest, by the staff of Abia State Health Management Board to protect non-payment of 12-month salary arrears. The workers have finally done tools. When NTA News visited the Abia State Management Board, the offices are under lock, while the patients were being referred to other hospitals.
The government have never responded. Despite the 2 weeks they gave the doctors and the JHC, they have never done anything up till now. And that is why we are still working outside the gates.
They have a right to agitate and make their grievances known. But however, our advocate, it should be a peaceful protest.
The government should listen to their pleas and pay them speedily. They are suffering and they have families. It's not fair that you work and you will not be paid.
Every government should pay its workers and do other things necessary for the workers to feel conducive to be able to offer their best.
The protests began toward the end of April, during which time the authorities pleaded and promised to pay as soon as possible. In Umahia, Nena Igwe, NTA News.
It's now time to go over to our Lagos Network Center, where Adiola will give us the situation report on Lagos Island building collapse. Good evening, Adiola.
Thank you, Ayo. And this is Lagos. A total of 5 people have been rescued alive, while 4 others died under the rubble of a collapsed building in Alayaki Court along Freeman Street in Lagos Island. Adeniyi Taiwo reports that a search and rescue operation winds down at the site. Demolition of other distressed buildings in the vicinity is being considered by the state government as a deterrent.
This is the site of the 3-story building on Alayaki around Freeman in Lagos Island that caved in during a downpour on Saturday. We understand that this building was once residential with people living in it until the owner decided to rebuild into a 3-story building. From what agencies of government and residents around here are saying, that decision is in contravention of the state building code.
Now the people wey the government dey send say make them wan look the place where then they build, and dem cause all this thing. If dem see them say dem do the thing where e no good, then give them money, then just go. You will see these undisabled developers working at night. Look at this structure, for example. We have to poke it. They have already marked it. It's in our case study. But you know what they did? They painted it. And they continue working there at night.
This is one of the buildings that was affected when the 3-story building collapsed. As we speak, people are still living here. One of them is Ojulari, who is now thanking God for surviving the incident, but is still concerned about his children that were affected.
Just broke into our house. This is my room.
Okay.
It broke in, but it's only me and my daughter was there. But my daughter, they have carried that one to hospital. It's very hospital. The pillar fall on her.
So far so good. Based on head counts, no one is missing now. The cutting away of the rubbles will start any moment from now.
While calling for public vigilance, this engagement with residents is to inform them of government's resolve to demolish distressed buildings in the area. In Lagos, Adeniyi Taiwo, NTA News.
Biodiversity, environmentalists say, is a vital yet often ignored aspect of sustainable development. Ecosystem-based solutions, they insist, can go a long way in addressing climate change, urbanization, and health issues, including food and water security. The need for awareness on this is again on the front burner as World marks International Day of Biodiversity with the theme, Building a Shared Future for All Life. Jennifer Igwe reports.
Biodiversity provides home for many of the world's species and a foundation for most of the resources we use. Regional assessment reports by the Intergovernmental Science Policy Platform on Biodiversity and Ecosystem Services show that biodiversity is indeed declining in all regions of the world.
we're still struggling with trying to reverse a trend that has been going on for the better part of 100 to 200 years. Time is running out, species are going extinct, our own future is also a threat.
The Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, highlight how essential biodiversity is, as most of the goals are hinged on it. For instance, SDG 2 focuses on zero hunger, 7 on affordable and clean energy, 11 targets sustainable cities and communities. There's also SDG on life below water and 15 on life on land.
While there are institutions, government efforts to conserve nature, and individual efforts, NGOs and even international NGOs have been doing a lot. Individually, Nigerians have not learned to live in harmony with nature. Massive logging is taking place. We are destroying the forests. We are killing all our animals. Highly prized wildlife that other countries have used to develop tourism.
The United Nations General Assembly designated May 22nd as International Day for Biological Diversity. The aim is to create more awareness and emphasis on environmental conservation and protection. In Lagos, Jennifer Igwe, NTA News.
Moving on now, a cross-state regional workshop to facilitate knowledge sharing and learning among civil society organizations that will translate to a positive change has been held in Lagos. Annie Daniels reports that it is facilitated by the European Union and the British Council.
All are civil society organization members from Rivers and Plateau states. This workshop, under the name Agents for Citizen-Driven Transformation, is a platform to identify challenges, exchange ideas, proffer solutions to such challenges in each of those states and, by extension, other states of the Federation.
The selection was purely based on civil society organizations working on all EU thematic areas, and that includes health, education, resilience, climate change, nutrition, water and sanitation, education, and the like. So yes, we cut across a lot of thematic areas.
Already, Northern has made a relative success in discouraging the spread of soot in Rivers State. So also how other colleagues from Plateau State
have been able to work with the government of the state to pass laws. We have been able to design and pass laws. These are the laws that will impact on not only one person, but the whole state in general and even Nigeria.
It has taken its time to make us understand that whatever we do, we have to have media engagement, social media engagement, to be able to disseminate effective information to not only the communities that we serve, but also the government and different stakeholders.
We are now better placed to deliver on our mandate to make active citizens of young people.
With trainings like this one and media collaboration, these Nigerians are optimistic that greater feats will be achieved. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA News.
Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/alllive and on all the other social media handles for updates. We will join Sadia in our Sokoto Network Center for more stories on Nationwide after this break.
Glad you are still there and welcome to Sokoto. The State Office of the National Directorate of Employment has flagged off the commencement of a skill acquisition program for unemployed women in the state. The program, which covers some 5 important skills, draws trainees from across the 14 local government area of the state. Jamil Ibrahim has more.
The 5-day skills acquisition training program for women organized by Zamfara State Office of the National Directorate of Employment is in furtherance of the federal government's commitment to reduce the rate of unemployment in the country, especially amongst the women folk. A total of 130 women drawn from across the 40 local government areas of the state are participating in the program. The training covers the art of event decoration, makeup, dyeing and perfumery among other skills.
We have 30 trainees for tie and dye, 50 for event decoration and makeup, and another 50 for beads making. It will enable them to be self-employed. They don't need to wait for paid employment. Secondly, after some time, they can as well train others.
Zamfara State Commissioner for Youth and Skills Acquisition, represented at the event, applauded the federal government for the wonderful initiative and charged the trainees to make the best use of the opportunity for their betterment. Some of the trainers and the trainees pledged to put in their best for the actualization of the set goal.
We promise to cooperate with our trainers and to abide by the rules and regulations of the program.
By the time we train them, at least for 2 days, everybody will know the business very well.
And I assure you, as we put our hands all on training, everyone is going to go home well prepared.
At the end of the training, the women are expected to be given starter packs to enable them start putting what they have learned into practice with minimal delay. In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
Governor Bakari Atiku Bagudu has directed the Religious Affairs Department to enlist orphans for the state government support. Governor Bagudu stated this in Birnin-Kebbi at the occasion of orphans allowances distribution, where 1,960 orphans benefited in the state. Osman Abdullahi Shehu reports.
1,960 orphans in Kebbi State were expected to benefit from the sum of 131 million naira support from the International Islamic Relief Organization. The Kebbi State Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu recognized the giant philanthropic stride and called on the well-meaning members of the society to emulate the kind gesture by at least supporting the life of an orphan within the locality.
The cabinet office has been mandated to also look into it with a view to also give access to other village individuals.
The head of the International Islamic Relief Organization Kaduna office, Tahir Baba Ibrahim, said the beneficiaries were registered at tender ages, adding that registered orphans will receive their allowance in 4 installments.
1,960 orphans will receive their 6-month allowances between 20th of May to the 28th of May 2022 here in the
Other speakers appreciated the organization's support to the orphans who are the most vulnerable. Highlight of the event was the distribution of checks to the beneficiaries. Usman Abdullahi Shehu, NTA News.
And that's it from here. It's now back to Ayo in Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Thanks, Sadia, in our Sokoto Network Center. Over 5,000 candidates are sitting for the 2022 West African Examination Council WAEC in Sokoto State. This is amidst reports that public schools in the state are not participating in the examination. Shehu Muhammad Dati reports.
A visit to some of the centers in the metropolis shows candidates writing the examination under the watch of their supervisors. The Examination Council stated that public schools in Sokoto and Zamfara states have not registered for the examination, which is holding from May 16th to June 23rd. The state government said it refused to enroll its students for the body's examination in the past 2 years due to the council's refusal to furnish the state government with its tax identification number that made the government to look elsewhere. In a statement issued in Sokoto, the State Commissioner for Basic and Secondary Education, Muhammad Bello Wiwa, said instead of supplying the required financial propriety code, WAEC used to ask for an advance payment of 40% on the 30,000 candidates proposed for sponsorship by the government last year. The government of Sokoto State had in recent years stopped registering its candidate for WAEC amidst reports of high failure in the examination and opted for NECU and NAPTEP examinations, an action which had generated controversies in the state. The zonal coordinator was African Examination Council in Sokoto, Olufemi Bangbaye, who spoke off camera, said a total of 3,516 candidates from private schools and 1,817 candidates from 10 schools under the Ministry of Science and Technical Education are sitting for the examination in the state. In Sokoto, Shehu Muhammad Dati, NTA News.
Now let's go back to our earlier reports where we told you that world leaders have started converging on Bali, Indonesia for the 7th Global Platform for Disaster Risk reduction. Now, NTA is a strategic partner, and Onengie Fine Face will now serve us the reports.
Indonesia is a disaster-prone country that has built resilience against hazards and fits in many ways as an example for disaster risk reduction. Bali, Indonesia, a tourist city, is playing host for the 7th Global Platform for Disaster Risk Reduction. The focus is to move from risk to resilience towards a sustainable development for all in a COVID-19 transformed world.
It's going to be 7 years since the Sendai framework was adopted in 2015. Next year is the midpoint. Are we achieving what we think we need to? I don't think so. We're not achieving the SDGs either, so we need to enhance our efforts, and this is also an opportunity to do that.
Authority. For the first time, the media from across the world will be relaying news from the UNDRR platform in Indonesia. Ceremonial raising of the Indonesian and United Nations flag marked the official commencement of the Global Platform 2022 event in Indonesia. From the Nusa Dua, Bali, Onengie Fine Face, NTA.
Chinenye will tell us how communities in Enugu are benefiting from free medical treatment by the Nigerian Air Force. It's over to you, Chinenye, in our Enugu Network Center.
Thank you so much and welcome to Enugu. A two-day annual summit for widows in the Anglican Diocese of Enugu has ended with a call on the widows to remain steadfast in the Lord. Kelechi Ocha reports that a special Thanksgiving service held at the Cathedral Church of the Good Shepherd, Enugu.
Anglican women widows across various archdeaconries in the diocese gathered for an annual conference which climaxed with a special service and thanksgiving. From the pulpit, the homilist, Venerable George Obekezie, emphasized that widowhood is not an identity nor a choice, but a circumstance. He urged the widows to keep moving forward, for God knows about their existence. In a special prayer section for the widows, the Anglican Archbishop of Enugu Ecclesiastical Province, Most Reverend Emmanuel Chukwuma, asked God for ultimate blessing upon them.
All is not lost. There's still hope if they trust in God. And they should not, because of widowhood, misuse themselves. They should also try to struggle. People should try to assist them, do some business and be enterprise.
Appreciating God for a successful end of the Widows Summit, the women among other good-spirited congregation identified with the widows who were blessed with startup funds for businesses. The 2022 Widows Summit commenced on Friday and ended today in Enugu. Kelechi Ochiara, NTA News.
Over 250 persons from Ohomoba community in Udenu local government area of Enugu State have benefited from a free medical outreach organized by the Nigerian Air Force. Mikaria Ugu reports that the exercise is part of activities to commemorate the 58th anniversary of the Nigerian Air Force.
The medical services given to the children and adults of Oba included tests for high blood pressure, random sugar, HIV tests, and counseling. Prescriptions were also made after proper diagnosis by the doctors, as drugs were dispensed accordingly for the common ailments such as malaria, hypertension, diabetes, eye and ear infections, aimed at strengthening the cordial relationship existing between the Nigerian Air Force and the host communities. The Air Officer Commanding Ground Training Command, Nigerian Air Force, Enugu, Air Vice Marshal Ibikunle Daramora, represented by the Chief of Staff, Air Vice Marshal Michael Oyebashi, noted that aside from protection of territorial integrity, the Nigerian Air Force has other corporate social responsibilities, hence the outreach.
This celebration for the year is anchored on a tripod, on
one leg, we want to celebrate our modest achievements. On the another leg, we want to reflect on our colleagues who have paid the supreme price in the course of doing our duties.
The traditional ruler of Ohomopa commended them for the gesture.
It is clear now that it's not only the sovereignty of the nation, but we still try to keep the health of the citizens. We are grateful to them for the medical services they came to render to us.
Meanwhile, the exercise was preceded by the warming of children from the community in Enugu, Ugu, NTA News.
And those are the stories from Enugu. Do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on all.
We're glad to have you back on Nationwide, and this is Maiduguri Network Center. Let's move on now. Borno State Governor Babagana Umar Zulum has stressed commitment to carry everyone along in the scheme of things. The governor reiterated this when he received at the Government House, Maiduguri, the Director General, National Center for Women Development, Dr. Asabe Vilita Bashir, accompanied by her supporters, to reaffirm their loyalty and support to the present administration in the state. Mohammed Guni completes the story.
Governor Babagana Umara eulogized the former lawmaker for her leadership style and support to her people, adding that her commitment will not go in vain. The governor, who noted his campaign pledge to work for the people of the state, said the Mboa-Chibok road has reached advanced stage of completion and that government has constructed schools and other developmental projects in Chibok, while the Mboa will be made urban community.
May we never be obsessed with worldly things to the detriment of our people.
He used the forum to pray for peace and progress of Borno and the country as a whole, assuring that whatever decision he takes affecting the state is done in good faith. Director General, National Commission for Women, Dr. Asabe Vilita Bashir, said they were at the Government House to express loyalty and support to the leadership of Governor Zulum and express optimism that her supporters will continue to be carried along in the scheme of things, including political appointment.
Our prayer is that you go higher and higher. This is what we are taking.
Representatives of her supporters from Goza, Chibok and Domboa Federal Constituency that include Adamu Lawan Ashigashia, Ali Garba and Ali Lawan Chibok noted continued support of Dr. Asabe Vilita Bashir to her people even after she left the National Assembly. In Maiduguri, Mohammed Goni, NTA News.
And in other news, Governor Babagana Umar Zulum has condoled management and staff of NTA Maiduguri Zonal Network Center over the demise of Assistant Director News Fatih Musa Abdullahi, who died recently following a brief illness. The governor was accompanied on the condolence visit by Senator Mohammed Ali Duni, some members of House of Representatives, State Assembly, Secretary to the State Government and Chief of Staff, as well as other top government functionaries. Here again is Mohammed Guni with the rest of the story.
Governor Babagana Umar said he was saddened by the news of the demise of late Hajia Fatih Musa Abdullahi, whom he described as supportive to the cause of the state government, and prayed Allah to grant the deceased Al-Jannatul Firdaus and the family the fortitude to bear the loss.
Department of the policy, the government house, and the department of this will closely contribute to the good work I just said. Even when she was alive, the job was not done by she alone, it was done in conjunction. It was a good idea working now.
The governor appreciated the staff and management of NTA Maiduguri for the continued support to the Borno state government. Zonal Director, NTA Maiduguri Zonal Network Center, Ishaya Hanania Uba, thanked the governor for the condolence visit over the demise of Fatih Musa Abdullahi, veteran broadcaster, a sister and mother, whose death has created a vacuum difficult to fill.
He was a leader to emulate, very kind, always very calm, professional to the core. But the one thing with death is that we can't avoid the disinherited.
The zonal director equally noted the governor's continued support to NTA Maiduguri Zonal Network Center. Special prayer was offered for the deceased and the family she left behind. Governor Zulum had assisted family of the deceased with the sum of 3 million naira, which was presented to the family by the zonal director NTA Maiduguri. In Maiduguri, Mohammed Goni, NTA News.
And those are the latest stories at this time from Maiduguri. Let us at this point return to Abuja for more reports on Nationwide.
Thanks, Abubakar, in our Maiduguri Network Center. Now, as the race for the 2023 presidential election intensifies, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says he will use his wealth of experience to move the country forward if given the mandate in 2023 general elections. He made the pledge during his visit to Katsina State to meet with delegates of the All Progressives Congress APC in the state ahead of the forthcoming presidential primary of the party later in the month. Abwal Haliru reports.
The Vice President arrived Katsina to speak with delegates of the APC on his aspiration to be the flag bearer of the party in the forthcoming general elections. At the banquet hall of the Government House, the Vice President met with the delegates behind closed doors. After the consultation, he proceeded to the palace of Emir of Katsina, Abdulmumin Kabir Usman, where he paid homage to the monarch. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo said he has put himself forward to serve as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and promised to use his experience as someone who had acted as President in moving the country forward if elected in 2023 elections.
Acted as President. During that period, the President has exposed me to all that there is to know about governing a complex and diverse country such as ours. We want to say that I have learned, there is considerable experience, and the key issues that concern our country today, issues of security, issues of the economy, are issues that I believe we can do very well and that I am in a position to do quite a lot on, for the reason that I know exactly what the problems are today.
The Emir of Katsina, Abdulmumin Kabir Usman, expressed confidence in the ability of the Vice President to lead the affairs of the country. In Katsina, Awal Halaru, NTA News.
Another development, the President of the Senate and one of the APC presidential aspirants, Ahmed Ibrahim Lawan, says Nigeria has witnessed unprecedented development under the administration of the All Progressives Congress APC in the last 7 years through the implementation of people-oriented policies that require consolidation. He stated this while persuading the party's delegates for support in the forthcoming APC presidential primary election in Dutse, Jigawa State. Muhammad Askira has details.
APC! Senator Ahmed Lawan, while addressing APC party leaders, supporters and delegates in Dutse, Ahmed Lawan, when recounted his political journey and the sacrifice he made as lawmaker in his 23-year stay at the National Assembly for the unity and development of Nigerians, says APC has justified the confidence Nigerians repose on it under the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari. One thing they said deserves another. Senator Ahmed Lawan therefore urges the state APC delegates to consider him while voting at the presidential primary to sustain the good work of President Muhammadu Buhari.
For us in APC, what matters is how we are able to continue to deliver services to the people of Nigeria. And we have our models, we have our focus. The purpose of any government is to provide security and welfare.
Governor Badaru, represented by his deputy Umar Namadi, says Badaru and Ahmed Lawan are persons with the same thoughts, visions and patriotism who sacrifice their time, energy and resources for the development of the country.
You and he are the soul of Mr. President. You are the soul of the great brother, and you are loyal souls that are ready to take the inception of their own family.
Earlier Earlier, the aspirants paid a royal homage on the Emir of Dutse, Dr. Nuhu Muhammad Sanusi, while the Emir wished him a success in the race. From Dutse, Muhammad Askira, NTA News.
Former Governor of Lagos State and a presidential aspirant of the All Progressives Congress, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has pledged to restore the hope and dreams of an elder statesman and Middle Belt minority leader, late Senator Joseph Taka, who fought for the rights of the minority groups in the country. Asiwaju Tinubu gave the assurance during his consultation visits to Benue State to interface with delegates ahead of the party's primaries. Moses Ajawode has details.
The presidential aspirant, who was received by the state executives and stakeholders of the All Progressives Congress, APC, said he will attract meaningful development and embark on massive reforms that will transform the country. Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, while acknowledging the spirit and unity of the state APC family, stressed that he was in the race for the interest of all and promised to restore the hope, dreams and aspirations of late Senator Joseph Taka, who fought for the projection of minorities at the national levels.
With the rest of us across the country, we will be with you. We will walk with you. We will move this nation united together.
We are standing with you to ensure that the system, the economy of this country is brought back to the job.
Some APC stalwarts who accompanied the presidential aspirants equally expressed confidence on his aspiration to deliver if nominated to fly the party flag in the general elections.
It is only fair that the presidency should rotate to the south.
Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu was decorated with the Tiv traditional attire. In Makudi, Moses Ajawode, NTA News.
Away from politics, let's join Clement